All right, I'm going to do a couple of castings here for the Jardine project. The first thing that I want to mention before people start is I think that we didn't really cover very well the update queries and doing queries to delete things. So what I'd like to do is point out something before you actually maybe get started. If you're having trouble with that aspect of it, go into my IT lab, and if you go all the way down to the bottom, there's a file here. It says please help with project. If you go ahead and click on this, oh yeah, it always gives you these errors, download file. This is actually why I put it all the way out on here. To bring it back up again. Go ahead all the way down. Click on this. What this file is you can see it says Jardine copy 2010-12 011 is an access file that has a lot of the relationships are already in place and the delete queries are in there. A couple of other things are in here too, and as I switch over to there, I'll talk about that as well. So let me go ahead and I'm going to minimize out of this so we can get this out of the way. This is what that file looks like when it's open. It has the switchboard items in place that are there, or at least the switchboard form and the items table already in place for you. Now, that's part of the extra credit for this assignment. You can see here's that switchboard thing. One of the things I want to make really clear about this before you get too far is that these items that are on the switchboard, so actually let me I can kind of highlight this stuff. These items on the switchboard here are forms that are linking. They will not work on this. You will need to build and bind the forms in order for this to work to get the extra credit. So I just want to make sure that you understand that in advance before you start. So in other words, you can use this to do the other parts of the project. If you want the extra credit, you're still going to need to build out those forms and link them to the switchboard properly. But for now, it'll work just fine. To run the queries and other aspects of this project. So let's go ahead and I am going to get rid of that. I'm going to go ahead and turn this on. So I'll do the options here and enable the content and click on OK. And here is my Jardine security. So I'm going to go ahead and close this. Now, if you want to take a look at what those delete queries look like and the calls without matching customers, you can do that in design view here and take a look at them. So the idea of the delete unmatched is that we're looking for things that are unmatched and going ahead and deleting them. So the first thing is generally to make sure that you've run this query, which will look for the customers that are unmatched. Anyway, this will get you started. All right, so as we're looking at the project itself, one of the areas where I think people tend to get really lost is if you're looking at this beyond the enforce integrity and stuff, which this file that we're looking at now actually has in place. So, sorry, that's the wrong one. This file, if you look at the relationships, we'll go database tools here, and relationships. These are already in place and enforced, so you don't have to worry about that for this in this case. If you're starting using the updated file in my IT lab. So let's go ahead and let's go back and look at some of those queries. And what I want to do is actually I'm going to start with the file as it stands here, and this is the larger file with everything already in place. And what I want to do is, one of the things we're looking at is we have to do this active customer one. So let's go ahead and enable all of this, enable the content in this one. I'm going to go ahead and close out the switchboard, and let's take a look at this active customer query here in design view. Make it a little bit larger so we can see it. So there are a couple of things that are in here already, And I'll go ahead and build this out, but the first thing that needs to be built in order to be able to do this are, in fact, the other queries. And these other queries, so we have the customer tails, but we have the emergencies by customers and the false alarms by customers. So what I'd like to do is we're going to build these queries out first so that we can see exactly who is active within the database. This will give us our active customers summary that most of the work is done from. So then those queries look like, here's our emergencies by customers here. This is the emergencies by customers query. Whoops, my mistake here. Let's go back. All right, active this is the emergencies by customers. Let's take a look at this view, right? And we can see this. So here's the emergency by customers. We're using the customers and the IDs, and we're looking for the false alarms in the calls, basically. And then the other one, let's go back to the active customers. Change the view here. The other one that we're looking at is the false alarms by customers. So that is actually this query, and you can see this is the data that it generates again, and this is the query itself. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop this recording and we'll move on. We'll do, in the next recording, we'll build out these two queries for you.